Hello, my friends. I'm your host, Mortimer James, and I would like to welcome you to the world of the creepy and the caffeinated, of conspiracies and coffee. Welcome to Tales from the Dark Roast. Today is the day. I'm finally going to share with you guys all the evidence provided by Drusilla Nix and Mark Van Dyke from their episodes. And as you can tell, today's episode is going to be a little different from what we normally do. What I'm going to be giving you folks is a new segment called One Cup Conspiracy. There will be no guest. It'll be a somewhat shorter episode, but it's going to allow me to focus on a single topic and present my ideas on it, or, like today's episode, go over any evidence that I have. Anything goes with One Cup Conspiracy, but the only caveat is that I have to complete my ramblings by the time I finish my coffee. Once the coffee's done, then so's the episode. As promised, here's the photographic evidence given to me by two of our first guests. Before we start, though, we've got to talk about the coffee. I have to give a very big thank you to my sister, Thursday, who gave me, for an early Christmas present, a sampler box from Bones Coffee Company. And I've only opened 2 of them so far, and they're absolutely freaking delicious. So, today I'm going to be drinking the Salty Siren, which is a sea salt caramel mocha. I have not sipped any of it. I've not tried any. So let's do that right now, and then we'll put our cup into place. Oh man, that tastes as good as it smells. You really get the mocha at the beginning, and then towards the back end is when you start to taste the sea salt and caramel. So here we go. We're going to lower our mug. Also a gift from my sister. And there we go. So not a sponsored episode. I just really like coffee, and this is what she sent me. But Bones, if you ever listen to this, shoot me an email. Give me a call. Maybe we can work something out. Maybe you've got a story to tell. I'd like to hear it. All right, guys. So how we're going to do this is, like I said, once the coffee's done, the episode's done. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to open my vault of mysteries. Yes, the Vault of Mysteries. It's basically just where I keep all my my photos and stuff that have been given to me. So I've already kind of edited them just to make them easier to see and focus on what we're going to be talking about. So let's get into it. The first couple of pictures, first few pictures, are all going to be from Drusilla Nix. And these are pictures that she sent me from Google Street View of her parents' house. And in the first picture, you can see what looks like the figure possibly wearing a top hat. The second picture is the face in the window of the same window, just from a different timeline. And then the third picture is also the same face, just zoomed in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So we're going to go to the second picture. So this is the full picture she sent me of what looks like possibly somebody in the window of her parents' house. This one to me is a little inconclusive, just because you don't get such a great definition of the outline of the person. To me, this might be the reflection of like a fence, or even maybe a passing vehicle. So like a white panel van or something. Now, it does vaguely look like somebody possibly wearing a top hat. So you can see top hat right there. And then the outline of the body. To me, this is probably just a very good example of pareidolia. Which pareidolia is defined as the tendency to perceive a specific, often meaningful image in a random or ambiguous visual pattern. Basically, this is what happens when people see like Jesus in their toast, or you look at wood grain and you see a face in the wood grain. That's pareidolia. And we're gonna get a sip of coffee while we go to the next image. And here is the same image, just zoomed in a little bit. And again, it looks more like a reflection to me than anything spooky. Zoomed in, you can definitely see where it does look like a top hat. You can almost see like a line right there. and it goes across the image. So that's either where the window is being broken up by the windowsill, or it's standing behind the window. I don't know. To me, like I said, this looks more like a case of pareidolia. It's still creepy though. And so I don't have access to a super high-end editing program for photos, but I did play around with something online to help me bring out the photos just a little bit, and just put a little different distortion on them, or not distortion, but a little different filter on them to help the images stand out a little bit. And as you can see, it does darken this. It makes it look like there might actually be someone in there. To me, it almost looks like someone wearing like an old hoop dress. So you can see it would be the hips of the hoop dress, and the bodice or corset going up, and then the chest, and then maybe a head. I don't know. It's still a weird photo, but I can't say for sure that it's anything spooky or paranormal. And as it was captured on Street View, you know, Google didn't mess with the picture, but it's still hard to say exactly what we're looking at. All right, so let's move on to the next one. This is, again, the face that she found. This actually happened when she was looking for the photo on Street View of the person in the top hat, and she just randomly found this and freaked out and sent this to me. So again, here's the original photo. Here it is zoomed in just a little bit more, and then here it is with a circle around it so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. The face, two eyes, nose, mouth. This to me is creepier than the top hat. I think this might be pareidolia, where we're just seeing, you know, images where there isn't anything to see, a pattern. But it's still creepy. That face, that looks like a face. That doesn't look, there's nothing ambiguous about that. That's a, you know, that's two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Here it is, zoomed in just a little bit more. And if it seems like I'm going for this coffee pretty quick, I am, but for two reasons. One, I've only had one cup this morning, and two, it's really freaking delicious. But photos, let's get to the photos. Again, zoomed in, this still looks like a face. I can't really give you more detail than that. It's creepy. And again, she pulled this from Street View, so she did not manipulate it or, you know, modify it in any way. And I do want to put that in there. All the photos that were given to me have not been touched up as far as I'm aware. They were given to me as is, and both people gave them to me and said, hey, these are the photos. I didn't touch them. I didn't edit them. This is what we have. And I believe them. The only things that have been done have been to make it easier for you guys to see them and to really focus on what we're looking at. So here I'd put another filter over that face just to try to make it stand out, bring it out a little bit. Oh, let's go back to this real quick. And even with a different filter on there, it does look like a face. And this one creeps me out a little bit more than the top hat guy, because the top hat's just, it's ambiguous. It's super hard to see. I think maybe if we were there in person and we could try to figure out exactly what we were looking at, it'd be a different story. But this looks like something you would see in a movie almost. Like, you know, the camera is panning past the house where the murder just occurred, and then very briefly in the front window you see the face of the victim. That's what this looks like to me. So Drusilla, do you know if your parents have murdered anyone in the house, or, you know, gotten rid of some house guests? Ooh, ha, ha, ha. No, I'm joking. Her mom's a very nice lady. Sorry guys, I keep saying and I apologize for that. I'm gonna focus on that. So this is the photo that Mark Van Dyke sent me, and this was 2 frames taken from a video that he used to have. Unfortunately, the original video is lost, but he still had these 2 frames, and we have his logo at the top here, Paranormal Investigation and Education Research. That was a really good episode, by the way. I highly suggest you guys go and check it out if you can. Some really cool, really good intro story by about a ghost named George, and then everything else going on. And we are about halfway through that cup of coffee, guys, or that mug, I should say. Still, thank you, sis. That mug is awesome. So in this picture, or series of pictures, the female investigator that was there with them was reading from a child's book to supposedly children that there's a child's mass grave here. And here in this photo, nothing going on. It's just a picture of her. But then in this photo, it looks like two shadowy figures standing there. And the story was that they kept walking by two particular tombstones or graves, and they were both former soldiers. And the theory that Mark gave was that these two soldiers are protecting the area, especially the area of the children, and making people feel uncomfortable in order to get them to leave the area to protect the graves and maybe the spirits of those children. So make it a little easier for you guys to see. This is what I'm talking about. So here, there's nothing. Maybe the beginnings of something right here and right here. Maybe they were coming in. I don't know. But then here, you can see a black shadowy mass and a black shadowy mass. These are, I mean, you can see the tombstones in front of them, but then behind them are the outlines of the tree, and you can see where they actually interfere with the outline of the grass as well. So there's something there. Whether that be two people that walked up, which I highly doubt because they were the only ones there, and this graveyard is supposed to be out in the middle of the boonies. So we're going to make it a little easier. Again, I threw another filter on here. So this is the original. Maybe two things starting to walk up here. But as you can see, there's uninterrupted grass and more tombstones, and you can see. And then here, you've got this white mass, which is just the filter. But you can see where it completely interrupts the line of the grass. Zoomed in a little bit more. This is the original photo. Again, maybe something's starting to form here. And then this is the second photo. And you can clearly see there are two black masses right here on the edge behind these tombstones, breaking up the line of the grass and the woods. And Mark said they did not see this. They did not realize it was there until they got home and started to review the evidence. Again, just to make it a little easier, you can see the two black masses there. And that's a hard one for me to debunk, because I can't say it's pareidolia because there's nothing there to like break up that pattern. You know what I mean? Like pareidolia usually involves like seeing a face or a very specific pattern, maybe a number, even a design that you're familiar with. This is less that. These are, these are more ambiguous. They're less defined. So to me, this is more like a shadow mass. And maybe it's the spirit of these two soldiers protecting the graves, like Mark suggested. We're getting close, guys. Sorry. But it's definitely interesting that here, nothing. And then just frames later, you get these shadowy masses. And, again, I'm going to throw it in another filter. You can see nothing there. And then next frame over, you have these masses that are breaking up the background of the tree line. There's something there. It's not just an artifact or something on the photo. There's something there. And this doesn't look Photoshopped to me. I'm not an expert, but I did work in news for about 7 years. I did a lot of Photoshop, made a lot of graphics for the news, maps, images, over the shoulders or OTSs, all that stuff. I made that. I've played with Photoshop. Even for fun, I used to make my own graphics and do things like that. This doesn't feel or look Photoshopped to me. There's not a lot of the weird kind of like discordant notes, I guess is a good way of saying it. You know, the weird distortion that you get from Photoshop. It's just too consistent across the board to me. And again, here you can see that the line of the horizon there where the grass is broken up, and you can kind of see where it breaks up the background of that tree as well. So I don't know. What do you guys think this all could be? Like, do you think this is the image of two shadowy figures walking up and trying to protect the graves of these children? I'm inclined to believe this could be something, but again, it was given to me. I believe Mark, but I wasn't there, so I can't vouch for it 100%. What do you guys think it is? Please leave a comment. Let me know. And then we'll go back to Drusilla's pictures. Again, this is the face. If this is pareidolia, it's like the prime example of pareidolia. To me, this could be something, but again, it's taken from Google Street View. I can't say whether or not that's anything, but it's creepy as hell. And then we get the top hat gentleman. This to me is pareidolia. I don't think this is anything supernatural. It's still creepy because it looks like somebody in the window, but to me, this is pareidolia. You guys argue about it below. All right, guys. Let's see what's going to happen here. Uh-oh. Yep. Sorry, that is really good coffee, and I really needed it. Highly suggest you guys check out Bones Coffee. You can get samples, like sample bags. She sent me 5 bags. You also get a cool sticker, I guess, with every order, is what my sister told me. They're delicious. Again, not sponsored. I just really like this coffee. Again, this is the Salty Siren Sea Salted Caramel Mocha. It is done. I've finished the mug. So that's it, guys. That's the end of the episode. The dark fuel that keeps this show running has been drained away, and that means we've reached the end of our episode. I really want to thank Mark and Drusilla for sending over these damned creepy pictures. It was a blast to break them down and give you guys my opinion on them. What did you think of them? Haints, ghostly visitors, 2 shadowy soldiers protecting the graves of children? Leave me a comment and let me know what you see when you look at them. I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to check us out on all of our platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Instagram. Just search for Tales from the Dark Roast. Leave a comment or a review and let me know if you've had any personal experiences like our guest. It also happens to help us grow the show and get the Dark Roast out to more folks. Stay tuned to future episodes from Tales from the Dark Roast, as I'm hoping to bring y'all something special at the end of the year, and if I can get more evidence, I would love to do another One Cup Conspiracy. I will be doing more One Cup Conspiracies on specific topics. Just gives me a chance to put more content out there for you guys and give you some of my theories about things. So once again, thanks for listening, and if you have a dark story you're willing to tell, then I have a pot of coffee, dark coffee, I'm willing to share. I'm Mortimer James, and this has been a One Cup Conspiracy.